Oh shit. What up, everybody? Welcome
Starting the
to
episode hot with some yawns.
season two, episode 27. I'm coming off of a little bit of a sinus thing, so I'm kind of sleepy. I definitely sound congested. Um, Fun week of ball, great Champions League week, good Europa League week too. Got some fun fixtures coming up. MLS starting soon. A lot of stuff to talk about today, but let's get the general vibe from the fellas. Josh, Mitch, life. How is it? How you guys doing on this fine Thursday evening?
Snow day. I'm doing good. Spent the most of the day with my niece. Hung out. We ate some fucking nice hot soup. We got what, like 8 inches of snow, fresh pow.
I didn't get that much up here.
We got dumped on in Winthrop.
I hope we don't get dumped on tonight, so I can go to Portland tomorrow. But that's not the point. Josh, how you
But
feeling?
Vibes are good, man. I'm going down to Boston tomorrow, actually, going to see Stavros Halkias in Boston, comedian.
Nice.
oh, that'll be fucking awesome. I love Stavros.
Stavi is fucking awesome. And then Saturday, I'm going to the Phoenix Landing in Cambridge, watch the game. So that'll be a good time with the Boston Reds there. Looking forward to that. So yeah, I mean vibes are pretty high personally. Soccer wise, a little bit more rocky, but we're back in the Prem this weekend. We'll see if we can pick things back up.
Hmm. Nice.
Gonna need it.
Uh, yeah. So I mean, we can hop right in and talk about last weekend real quick. Just touch on the two home teams and then any other kind of outstanding results. City draw 1-1 with Forest. On paper that looks really bad, but like if you watch the game, if City play like they did against Forest, we're gonna win the league. We were unlucky not to score four or five. Holland missed a sitter that you'll see him miss maybe one other time this year, and that was the FA Cup. And then outside of that, he buries it. So I'm not overly concerned. Yeah, it's 2 points dropped because you know Arsenal won their game against Villa, so City don't get a chance to go back to top of the table. But they played incredibly well. They were creating chances left, right, and center. Jack Grealish, since the World Cup, has been involved in 7 goals, which is just like a complete. He's a night and day player. He's been incredible. Finally kind of showing the player we spent all that money on. So I couldn't be happier with Grealish's performances. I mean, overall, yeah, it was a tough result, but it was a really good performance, and it's not super alarming. I think, like I said he play like that every game the rest of the season in the league, and I think we win the league. On another day, that game is like 5-1 City, so it is what it is.
Can I be devil's advocate just for 1 second here, Pat? What do you think to the people? And I'm not saying this, I think this, but what do you think of other people who are saying that you're better without Holland, or
I
you
think
were
that
better without him?
I don't think they're totally wrong. I think there's an adjustment period. We've been playing with a false nine for the past 2 years. When we talk about Leipzig, I'll have my gripes with the team and how we play with Holland, but we haven't had that guy who makes those kind of runs or takes up those kind of spaces for over 700 days. It's a different team. It's different tactics. He's a whole new player. He's not anything like the last out and out striker we had in Aguero. He's a completely different player from him. So yeah, there's going to be growing pains with Holland, but I mean, the guy's, he's got 27 goals in the league already, and that's playing, quote unquote poorly and being quote unquote a problem to the team. So if he's like every other forward in a Guardiola side and really comes into his stride and finds his feet in their second season, look out, he's going to score 70 in the league if that's the case. So I'm not overly concerned with the team's performances with Holland. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, I don't think people are totally wrong in saying we're better without him and that he makes us play a little differently. But I think in the long run, what you get out of a player like Holland in your front three, like I'll deal with the growing pains.
Sure. On the other side, obviously me and Mitch watching the Liverpool game. It was nice to see us getting another win against Newcastle, kind of building on the Merseyside derby. In a big way, too, coming out hot, getting 2 goals. From from guys that you really like to see scoring, with Darwin and Gakpo, kind of the new lads in this front three. Pope gets a handball early on too, so that kind of kills the game, I think, a little bit from both ends. But Liverpool hold on, get a clean sheet most importantly.
Yeah, I thought it was a really exciting game. A lot of improvement in our side. I thought Fabinho had a really good start to the game. There's a lot of physicality, like you said, throughout, and I think it played well into his game. The midfield was looking sharper than they have in recent weeks, which I really enjoyed. Hats off to the forwards getting the goals, and then, it was just dead game after 22 minutes.
Yeah. I like the finish from Darwin too, just like chesting it down, just hammering it in the goal. I don't want to get into it with the Champions League stuff because I feel like that's more of like a negative part. We're going to focus on the negative stuff with Liverpool, but just while we are on Newcastle and it was a victory, I do think it's time for people to start eating their words a little bit on Darwin Nunez. I did kind of some stats, very light stats. He's doing really well. When you look at his stuff per 90 minutes, goals plus assists, he's getting 0.87. I think he's getting 0.61 goals per 90 minutes.
Is that in the Prem?
All comps.
All comps?
Yeah, so that's only second to Mo Salah in the Liverpool team, and I believe if you put him in the Man City side, the only person who has better stats than that is Haaland. So I do think he's really coming around. His finishing starting to look pretty sharp, and obviously, again, the Real Madrid game was really bad, but to start off with that first goal, the confidence to send Courtois the wrong way with that little flick was brilliant. I do think he's really going to come along and be a top player for Liverpool.
I'm going to continue to banter Darwin Nunez until he scores 20 goals in a Premier League season, and then I'll leave him alone. A couple other not little things, big things, actually, when you think about the grand scheme of the Premier League table that I think we definitely do need to touch on at least. We're at the top of the table. Let's go look at the bottom of the table for a second here. Bournemouth picking up a win this weekend, Everton picking up a win this weekend over Leeds, and then Tottenham beating West Ham really shakes up the bottom of the table now. Everton and Bournemouth are now safe. Everton 16th place on 21 points, and Bournemouth 17th place on 21 points. Leeds and West Ham drop down. Leeds in 19th, West Ham in 18th. So America's team might be in the championship next year. A team that I think all three of us had staying up at the start of the season.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you guys think's been going wrong with them? I certainly have my opinions. I think all the managerial ins and outs this season haven't really helped, and I think there's been a bit of a poor investment, and losing Rafinha certainly didn't help this summer. I think they're kind of in a tricky spot. I don't think that Marsh necessarily got everything he needed to succeed, and I don't think that the way they've been handling the managers kind of coming in, coming out, coming in has been necessarily good. Just what are your guys' 2 cents? Do you think Leeds can get the job done, or do you think they're going to get relegated? I personally don't know if they have it in them to stay up this season. I'd be surprised to see them not finish in the bottom 3 the way the season's going for them.
I want to root for them, but it's tough to see a young team like them do as well. I mean, you have like the Nacho kid is really, really good. I'm a big fan of him, but he is, I think, under 20. Melier is a young goalkeeper, a bunch of young midfielders, and you guys have like guys like that Somerville up top who's also young. So it's tough to put a team out there. Those are kind of like the regular starters, and expect them to kind of pull through this. Everton are a little bit different because I think the fans can pull them a long way, as we saw last year. Leeds have that. I don't know if it's as big as Everton in terms of the pull. Or the players who are there. They don't have like a Seamus Coleman who's like a real leader in that dressing room. Again, I think with the lack of goals up top too is another big thing for them. Patrick Bamford is just
not
honestly
scoring
shit this season, so
yeah,
that's tough. When you have a striker that's not scoring goals, puts you in a really hard position again with a young team.
Yeah, I agree. I think Everton on the opposite side have a great manager in Sean Dyche and a really veteran core that can see them through these rough periods and can really get them across the line and keep them out of relegation. One other team I think that we do just touch on here. We made a joke reel about it like 6 games into the season.
West Ham.
West Ham, them getting relegated is a real possibility. It's a team that we all had fighting for Europe, a team that a lot of people had, battling for European football next year, find themselves in 18th place in the Premier League and looking fucking shit. Excuse my French, but they're fucking bad. Is it the Hammers' year to go down and then try to yo-yo back up, or what the hell is going on over there? It feels like, a couple of weeks ago we were joking about this again, and as the weeks go on, it just feels more and more likely that West Ham aren't going to be able to pull themselves out of this hole.
I think if you look at West Ham compared to Leeds, I think they're scoring even fewer goals. I think they have nine fewer goals on the season.
I believe they're the second lowest scoring team in the league.
It seems to be the issue is up front. You look at the defensive assets that they do have, and you see some solid players, but I don't think West Ham are gonna get the job done. I would take West Ham getting relegated over Leeds this season. I think Leeds do still have an opportunity to claw themselves out. Contrary to what you're saying, they've outscored everybody 15 and lower. So they are netting goals. They are being aggressive on the ball, but I think they'll be able to pull themselves out of the relegation zone over a team like West Ham.
Yeah, I mean, I'd really like to root for Leeds, but yeah, okay, I might be able to say that Leeds get out, because like Bournemouth are so fucking shit, dude. Bournemouth are awful.
Yeah, I appreciate Bournemouth because pound for pound, man, they're up there with the best of them. The fact that they can even like compete to stay out of relegation with how small of a club they are is pretty awesome.
I can't even believe they're awful.
Dude, look at their roster. I mean, their roster is pretty bad.
Oh, it's terrible. I am surprised they're not in 19th.
I would love West Ham to be relegated. Honestly, too, it would be perfect too. Hear me out. Ted Lasso's coming out. I think March 15th is the release, and we know West Ham is like the villain in this season. That lining up perfectly with the relegation battle is going to be peak television, because everyone's going to hate West Ham after the TV show. And also West Ham, if they get relegated, talk about a club in financial crisis. That would be a yard sale I would very much want to attend.
Yeah.
And they're like literally going to be in financial distress, because I think they rent the Olympic Stadium. I don't even think
I'm pretty sure you're right.
And I mean, you're talking about guys like Jared Bowen, Declan Rice, Lucas Paqueta is going to be a big name on the transfer market if they get relegated. I mean, that would be the most lucrative one. Lanzini,
Thomas Souček,
Kufal.
Antonio goes somewhere. They just signed Maxwell Cornet and Danny Ings. Ben Rama's not a bad player. Yeah, they're going to be down horrendous if they get relegated. They signed that Italian dude that was supposed to be really good, and I don't think he started a game in a while.
Oh, Scamacca, yeah.
Yeah.
Scamacca. West Ham started hot last year and haven't stopped getting worse.
West Ham did that thing that Wolves did for a couple of seasons where they like vastly outperformed their XG, but it took Wolves like 3 years for everyone to realize that they were actually shit and just good at defending, and West Ham did it in like 8 months.
Right.
Yeah, Raul Jimenez had like a few months where he was good too, which helped them.
Yeah, there was Jimenez, there was the midfielder who's Portuguese and his name is escaping me, and this is really fucking embarrassing.
João Moutinho?
No, the other one.
Ruben Neves?
There we go. Thank you. Yeah, that's fucking embarrassing that I forgot his name, but we haven't talked about him in like what feels like forever. And I mean, that's the Premier League. Relegation is getting really interesting.
I would keep an eye on a team like Nottingham Forest moving forward. I'm surprised they're sitting where they are in 13th. to be quite honest.
They have a good manager, though. I like good
They do have
managers
a
in a
good
relegation
manager,
battle.
but they're
I
not
think
like West Ham, not scoring enough and letting in a lot of goals.
I think Forest are safe enough on 25 points. They'll have to, you know.
There's only 10 points separating the bottom half, and they're level on games. So it's going to be a really exciting finish to the season. We got 15 games left.
Yes. They have 15. Holy shit! I'm looking at points, not games played. I'm a fucking crackhead. Anyway, yeah. Don't look at the live table and try to figure out stuff on the fly, folks. Or sometimes you wonder why Man City have played 52 games.
You want to move on to Champions League, boys? Talk about some Europe.
Yeah, we both had awful weeks. So
I don't know if I want to talk about this. It's a pretty hefty wound.
We can talk about the other two games first, because I mean we can talk about the fun stuff, like the fact that Napoli are insane.
Napoli are so good.
Victor Osimhen is a freak. I think he's probably the best striker in Europe right now, all things considered. You can say what you want about the Serie A as a whole, but Osimhen's a freak. Probably this Napoli team feels a lot like the Monaco team from 2017. I'd be really surprised to see them hold on to anyone this summer. Osimhen's going to go. Cavaradonna, he's definitely going to go. Anguissa. I could even see Lozano going somewhere else. Yeah, Anguissa. The team is incredible, man. They're such a good unit.
That guy at the back too, Kim Min-jae, he's a really solid defender.
Yeah, when City inevitably lose to Leipzig, I'll be rooting for Napoli for the remainder of the Champions League.
I actually don't mind Napoli. It's the fact that we've played them like 10 times in the past couple years that makes it like this weird, dumb rivalry. But I like them as a club. I mean, we need to have a group movie night. There's like a Netflix original. It's called Ultras, and it's about Napoli. It's like a fictional movie.
Hell yeah. I'll find some Italian beer somewhere, and Mitch can, I don't know. Mitch can't drink
gelato.
Beer. So, yeah, Mitch will eat some gelato, and Josh and I can split a 12-pack of some Italian beer, and we'll watch the movie about the Napoli Ultras, and we'll get back to you guys.
Whenever we're trying to come up with content ideas, the best soccer beer always comes in my head as like a discussion, then I'm like, fuck, Mitch is gluten-free.
That's an episode. That's just for an epi when Mitch isn't here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, outside of that too, there was Inter nicking a goal late against Porto. Both of those teams bore the shit out of me. Borussia Dortmund leaving it late too, beating Chelsea 1-0. Graham Potter somehow still isn't out of a job. Apparently, Bowley just isn't going to sack him.
Did we talk about that last week?
I think we did, but I'm bringing it up again.
Yeah,
that was on last week's episode. That's my bad.
It's a constant kind of.
I wasn't sure if Pat was just doing a full recap or
no. I'm sick, brain fog moving in here.
It's a 5-alarm fire, so we'll keep an eye on it as the situation unfolds over at Chelsea Football Club.
Yeah, I think that they like lost or some shit this weekend too. Not to bring it back to the Prem, but they're just in an awful way. They tied Southampton, right? They drew.
Lost. Ward-Prowse free kick.
Straight up lost to Southampton. That's right. Yeah. So. Wow, that is brutal.
Yeah,
Sebastian, I'm sorry, bro. My brother. I'm sorry,
we might
man.
need a Chelsea fan therapy here shortly.
No, we can't do that. No, fan therapies are off limits now because you'll win the league next year. If Lapointe wins the Prem, it was on fan therapy. That's why.
That's true. That's very true. Moving on to our teams here, I can quickly touch on City Leipzig, and then you guys can vent for a little bit here. Just like not really similar things to the Forest game, just not clinical enough. This is the game where I'll talk about my issues with the City side with Haaland. When De Bruyne is not in the team, which he didn't play against Leipzig, wasn't even on the bench, nobody passes the ball to Haaland and behind. Nobody makes those killer passes to him. Nobody even looks to make that killer pass. There were like 5 or 6 instances where Haaland was very clearly on the back shoulder of a defender running in behind, and we played the ball backwards. There was a transition where Holland was clean through one goal if Gundogan picks his head up, and instead we knock it out like a square ball for Grealish. Just like really slow in the build up, just not finding Holland in transition, and that's like where I think this team is having their biggest issues. Is there isn't in the past when we played with the natural striker, we had a ton of pace on the wings. It was Sané, Aguero, and Sterling just like breaking through the middle and ripping teams open on the counter. We're just not finding Holland in behind, and we don't really have the wingers to support him in making those runs. We can't knock a ball in behind to a winger or have a winger get a ball to feet, beat his defender, and then play Holland in. It's just a tricky little situation. I think it gets solved this summer, but right now there's just not like a kind of a disconnect between the midfield, the wingers, and the transition to Holland. He's kind of on an island a lot of the time, and that really showed against Leipzig. Leipzig defended super well, though. I don't want to take that away from them. Garvidal did a really good job kind of marshaling Holland for 90 minutes. He scored the equalizer. He jumped over Rodri, I think it was, or Ruben Diaz. Yeah. Scored the game winner. Or not the game winner, the equalizer. A 1-1 draw in a tough place like Leipzig, I mean, it is what it is. I think City have enough to get through. I think they have enough in the tank to beat them in the second leg and get to the quarterfinals. And then the usual thing will happen where we lose to whoever we play there. And yeah, that's the City game in a nutshell. Frustrating going forward. Slow overall. Please pass the ball to Holland. Guardiola, make a sub. I'm begging you.
Well, we also didn't have a good time. Big game going into Real Madrid. Obviously, a team we're really familiar with over the past few years, playing them, 2 finals and then a quarterfinal double tie as well. And we lose again, 5-2. I mean, a quick start helps us out, but we just kind of capitulate defensively. It kind of starts with Alisson giving up the second goal, which you get those with Alisson. It's kind of part of like having him. Sucks that it happened in this game. I'm not going to really hold anything against him because he's been one of our best players this year. And then the last 3 goals are just, I think, inexcusable from a lot of different points of view. I'll let you kind of touch on some things here too, Mitch.
It was the forwards we got from our last couple of games mixed with the midfield and defense we've struggled with the entire season. Right out of the gate, the pressure was phenomenal. The passing from the backs was out of this world. Trent looked beautiful to start this game offensively. Shaky midfield throughout, and it showed. We deserved to lose that game after 70 minutes of just lackluster control. Luka Modric danced all over us while we were able to really take advantage of Camavinga's lack of seniority, I will say.
Yeah.
Just a really, really frustrating game.
Yeah, in particular, I think Joe Gomez had a really, really bad night. Obviously, he's kind of the one standing there on the third header by Militao.
Put his ass on the number 9. He loves scoring goals, creating chances.
Yeah, I mean, Gomez had a really tight. I think the deflection for the 4th goal goes off him as well. Mm-hmm. Midfield, I thought all 3 were bad, and Steph is going to be a great player, so much potential, but I'm not sure that was the game to play him in. Even starting 6 games in a row, I just think it's a little bit hard, and I think he played some really loose passes. I mean, he kind of, I think, was at fault for one of the goals, kind of. I mean, passing it back, and but aside from that, Henderson and Fabinho also played really bad. I'm not picking on Steph alone. And again, the defense was really bad, and it just sucks that you kind of lose that way because it felt like you had something. But as soccer lore kind of goes, it's the hope that kills you. And
it honestly felt like Hendo wasn't leading. It was non-existent.
I don't disagree with you, but at the same time, I don't know what Hendo does. Like, Millie comes on, and I think he can. Millie for 10 minutes can like give a little bit of energy to the team, but it was like too little, too late. It just they hit you so quick, and I mean the fact that they scored 5 goals on 1.7 xG is just so crazy. They definitely had a little bit of luck, but a lot of it was just us being poor. Definitely, you're going in. It's not like Barcelona where you're going to Anfield for the second leg. Going to Madrid down 3 goals is basically a death sentence. The only positive that I do take out of this game is that I really dislike Real Madrid. And when you play a team in big games and lose to them consistently, there can be some nasty emotions that come out. The fact that, like, Liverpool fans applauded Benzema and Modric off the field, and then Real Madrid fans returned the favor was a nice touch at the end of the game. Appreciation between two of the 3-4 biggest clubs in the world. I thought that was a nice, cool moment to kind of cap off the night.
It was nice. I'm just salty.
Yeah. I don't hate anyone in this Madrid team or anything. I mean, they're just world-class players. I mean, you just got to tip your cap, I think. They definitely deserve to win. I don't think they deserve to win as bad as they did necessarily. No. But, I mean, we know the Prem is our focus. We need to focus on top 4 now, and that's basically where we are.
Moving on to next year.
Yeah. We'll touch on some weekend games here before we get into kind of some more specialty segments. Is Pat frozen?
No, sorry. I was just reading notes.
I literally didn't see Pat blink, so I was like, I can't tell if we need to move on right now.
No, I was just locked in over here. Sorry, I was reading something off screen.
Sometimes we are a logistics company.
Mm.
We got to be locked in. Upcoming games. The one for us that kind of obviously Palace. Hope to kind of get our feet back there. I don't think I have anything too big to touch on here, Mitch, besides just get out and fucking whack them. 3-0, 4-0.
Don't let Zaha run the day.
Yeah, he's definitely the one to look out for there.
That's about it.
Who do you play this weekend, Pat?
We're away at Bournemouth.
That's going to be easy, I would think.
Man, we're going to draw. I can feel it in my bones. Just something about this. There's just something about this city side right now, man.
Dean Court. Tottenham-Chelsea's the big one in the Prem this weekend. That one is so fun because Tottenham are shit. Chelsea are more shit. But this game could go any way. I think anyone who tries to predict or bet on this game is just a moron.
I think Chelsea are going to get the shit kicked out of them.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. Tottenham are shit, but like they always seem to get up for these games, these London derbies, these games against City, et cetera, et cetera. They play all right against you guys too.
Does Potter have to get sacked if they lose?
Bowley said they're not going to sack him. He said he's backed him, so...
Crazy. I get he says that, but I feel like after a certain point, like you almost have to.
I think Kane's putting a couple by him, and I think Chelsea are losing this game pretty comprehensively. I don't know. I just think Chelsea are so fucking bad right now. It's like really hard for me to see them beat any team in the top 8.
Yeah. Any thoughts, Mitch?
No, sorry. I was daydreaming about Fulham's top 4 hopes staying alive with their win over Wolves upcoming this weekend.
I'll give you credit. You gave Fulham some gas at the beginning of the year, Mitch. You were right on that. So
we can thank Steven for that.
Yeah.
Steve's our Fulham fan friend. We'll get him out to a Revs game too.
We'll get Steve
back
on the goddamn pod at the end of the season to talk about Fulham overachieving.
Just get him real drunk, talk about Fulham.
The Cottagers.
It'll be a time.
The other big one here, the EFL Cup Finals this weekend. I think it's gonna be a pretty fascinating match, in my opinion. Man United Newcastle. Man United's looking to win their 6th Carabao Cup or EFL Cup. Newcastle's looking to win their first major trophy since 1955. Obviously, Newcastle's been great this year, so I think this is gonna be a flying match. The only thing that's a little bit weird is that Loris Karius is gonna be in goal for them. What a moment for him.
I am a
legend.
I am a member of the Toon Army this weekend, if anybody asks.
Yeah, no one wants to see Man United win.
Anything.
I do want to see Loris win. I think it would be so cool to watch him make a couple big saves and like lift a trophy.
Redemption arc.
Yeah, what that would do for his just confidence, I can't imagine.
I'm interested to see how United fans spin winning the EFL Cup on Twitter. After nobody cared about it for all these years.
I mean, we did the same thing last year. So.
I mean, yeah, I'm just interested to see how this trophy gets spun when it's not City winning it 5 years in a row.
It's gonna be all recycled,
I'm a fan.
all
I love it.
recycled memes.
I always think it's a good trophy to win if you win it with something else. On its own, it's kind of meh, you know.
It's a nice compliment to something for
Yeah,
sure.
it's nice to be able to win it, so you can be the only team to have ever won a domestic quadruple, you know.
uh, Last weekend, Pat. I know we were kind of past this past weekend, so we're kind of reverting time a little bit. But Mönchengladbach beat Bayern Munich last weekend.
They can take Jed Summer from us, but they can't beat us.
That must have. I mean, I know you probably didn't watch it. You were sick, but it must have been a cool feeling checking that score line.
Oh, it meant the world to me, dude. I loved it, man. And then fucking Mönchengladbach trolled Bayern on Twitter after the game too. It was great. It was great, man. Mönchengladbach have hurt me all season, but it was really cool to see them beat Bayern today.
I vaguely remember saying, "Yo, Pat, your boys gave you a birthday present," and showed him the score line.
Oh, yeah, Mitch did do that, and I was like, "What the fuck? Oh shit, yeah, they won. That's tight."
So that's kind of our preview review here. We have we've only done 30 minutes or so. We can go for a little bit longer. We have some outstanding topics, and this is just the boys cutting it up about some stuff that's going on in footy. There was no kind of out of bounds things this week. It's been a pretty slow week in terms of the drama. So first thing I want to bring up is I kind of got into it with Tactical Manager, popular Twitter account, this past week. And I saw Alexi Lawless talking about it today too. People talking about Tyler Adams being too physical, being kind of too much of a tough guy. I kind of want to get your guys' take on this.
I think it's lame.
Do you think it's a problem, or do you think it's lame that people are talking about it?
I feel like it's lame that people are talking about it.
I
feel like we should get excited about it.
I have a different opinion than the two of you, I think.
Ooh.
It's not that I don't think Tyler Adams should be a tough guy, that he should be physical, that he should defend his teammates, all this stuff, put in the tough tackles, be the midfield destroyer that we would all love to have in the U.S. men's national team. But Leeds are fucking shit, man. They're so bad. And for him to have this attitude when they're in the dumpster, and his play kind of has been backing it up, but I would rather Tyler Adams just put his head down and played just did good work as a defensive midfielder. He can put in the crunching tackles. He can do all this stuff, but all the extra off the ball nonsense, that's the guy that's going to be wearing the captain's armband for us in 2026. And he carries that attitude into the World Cup, and he continues to act like that. It's not somebody that I want leading the team. I want that out of him when it's necessary, right? I think Fernandinho was a great example of when I love that kind of behavior from a player, when it's necessary, when your teammates are getting into it and you need to be there to stick up for the young guy on the team, or when your teammate gets fouled hard, go fucking rock the guy that's just 2-footed your teammate. But the stuff with Everton where he just got in a shoving match with was it Cody or someone like that? He just got in a shoving match with someone for what felt like really no good reason. That kind of stuff is just it's behavior of a young player on a bad team, and it strikes me more like someone being frustrated that their team can't get results more than it does him being cool or a hard man or anything like that. I don't know. I'm not overly impressed with the behavior, and I would prefer he just let his game do the talking and did that stuff when it was necessary. But like I said, it feels a lot more like frustration for poor performances and just bad behavior for the sake of bad behavior.
I think you're right, but I also think that it's good that it's happening now, because I do want to see a firecracker. I do want to see somebody who is willing to go out and kill to lock down the midfield. I think it's something our team needs. I think we need a leader that is going to cause some fire on the pitch. However, if he is going to be wearing the armband in 4 years, it's good that we address these things now. I want him to start leading by example. And if getting in somebody's face because they're coming at a teammate, which I mean, his midfield is his international teammates. I think there's just a little extra level of things behind the scenes that we don't know what's going on entirely.
Right, and I'm not saying that that's always a bad thing. I just don't think that the times he's been acting like that, they're all necessarily needed or like situationally good. I think there's a difference between being a firecracker and leading by example and playing with passion and just like being a hot-headed idiot. And to me, it strikes me like he's being more of the latter than the former.
Like Jay-Z said, it gets the people going. I like it when he gets when he kicks a ball in front of someone or gets in someone's face. I know they're not doing too hot right now, but I don't know. It makes me kind of amped. And for those Leeds people, it's probably like their best moment of the game. So I can kind of see why they like it. I do see both arguments, though. My next point of interest here, it's something I've saw on Twitter a lot this week. So I'm kind of monitoring Twitter for these topics, for whether it's free swim or out of bounds. A lot of people talking, I think this comes from Kvaradona too, and how well he's played lately, but about low sock game. Guys with low socks, the best guys with no socks, or like low socks, I should say. Is this the thing you guys did playing? And do you guys have any like favorites of people who do that?
I was a high sock guy when I played.
Guy. How high?
I did well, not really high. I guess like average length socks. But I did like a little bit above the shin guard, and then I did tape underneath the shin guard over the sock. I was a fan of little shin guards though. I'm a huge little shin guards guy, but I think that goes with the low sock game. But it is definitely a thing. Like Jack Grealish, that's a low sock guy. That's low sock game.
Low sock. Yeah. Thiago does it too.
Thiago. Yeah, tech. They got some tech. They got some flair. It always seems like it's those guys.
They got a little swag. They got a little piss that they put on the ball. That's just like it's a little different. They don't fuck around. They're coming in. They're comfortable. That's how they roll up to the futsal court too. That's how they roll up to little fucking 7-on-7s. They're rolling up. They throw in the shinnies and they just go play.
On the topic of low sock, when you think of low socks, what position do you imagine the player playing?
Center mid.
You say center. See, I disagree. I think winger.
Winger, or I think both, honestly.
I think winger. When somebody says tucked in shirt, I think center mid.
So with center mid, I'm not talking about like Jordan
or center back.
Center mid, I'm not talking about like a guy like Milner throwing in tackles. I'm thinking of like an Iniesta or like a Modric, like a technical CM.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like those guys, I don't associate with the low sock game.
No, that's just that's the player I think of in my head when I go to it. But I do agree. I think winger fits too.
I think
tricky winger. I think tricky winger would not wear shin pads if they didn't have to. And yeah, super low socks, tiniest shin guards imaginable.
You're just a Grealish homer.
I mean, yeah, but like Grealish like is Mr. Low Socks.
Yeah.
Right now he definitely is.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think? What position suits high socks like the best?
Keeper.
Besides keeper.
It's keeper.
I think a number 9, like a true 9. Like I love Darwin's look. I really do love Darwin's look with the extra highs up over the kneecaps.
Was Crouchy a high sock guy?
I think that was just a product of the time he was playing.
I'm gonna go striker too. I think a 9. I think
long
like
sleeves,
traditional
long
like target man when I think long socks.
I saw there's a recent company making like, I mean, I know you said like the smallest shin guards possible, Pat, but like this company, I think they're like, I don't know, they sent something to Harvey Elliott the other day and he put it on a story, and these things were literally like this big. Like they looked like pill bottles in his socks, and I was like, what are we doing?
That's not protecting you from shit. You know what I mean?
Well, is there like legalities on that? I thought when we were growing up, there was always like standard issue shin guards we had to use playing.
Yeah, but like the soccer in Maine, we could do an episode on this, but like the rules up here were fucked. Like we had to wear mouth guards. Like that's just not
a thing. Which is crazy. The mouth guard days were wild.
Shirts
I had to wear mouth guards. I had to tuck my shirt in.
Looking like Kieran Tierney.
My undershirt, if it was cold, had to match my jersey. My mouth guard couldn't be white or red. There were so many, and they don't even get me started on like high kick. You know, like the high kick rules,
obstruction,
dangerous play, obstruction. They fucking made up rules.
We talked about this at the bar the other day, and we might have brought it up on a previous episode, but indirect free kicks.
Dude,
oh yeah.
I was subject to like 4 indirect free kicks in the box when I was in high school, like, and just like the concept of it in general. Like we did talk about it on an episode before, like. When the fuck do you give those anymore? Because that felt like a thing, like all the like indirect versus direct. Like you had to have a guy with you to like touch the ball, like outside the box. Like when does that happen in the professionals anymore? When's the last time you saw one?
This is the same as a kid questioning why they need to do their math homework. It's like, when am I gonna see this in the real world? I'm not gonna need this in college. I'm not gonna need this at the next level. It's just a fucking made up rule for organized sports to make the basketball coaches that had to dual train in smaller communities to also be a soccer coach, make it easier on them, I guess.
Do you think it might have been like as like a main thing to like get, like instead of just kids like drilling the ball over the net, they're like actually trying to do like a play and like pass to the net, like pass to the goal. It's like more of like an actual set piece.
I don't even fucking know, man. I can't think of any logical reason for a lot of the things that happened in high school soccer.
You know, I bet Taylor Mannix has some insight onto this. Taylor Mannix is involved in high school soccer still. We need to get him on.
Yeah, we might need to get his ass in here and just shake him down, because I have no idea what's going on with some of this.
We're gonna have some mind-blowing like revelations about how the game works, and it's like, what the fuck at this point? I mean, I was a motherfucker that wore the One Piece shinnies. Do they still make those?
Oh yeah, the ankle,
with, like,
the ankle guard,
yeah,
the ankle guard, shin pads in one thing.
The 90s were crazy, my guy.
What professional wore ankle guards? I want to know. I need a list of pros who wore ankle guards.
We'll come back with the next episode with a full list of professional footballers who wore ankle guards.
When did you transition into sleeves, Pat?
Huh?
The sleeved ones, the ones like you pull the sleeve up and put the shin guard in, rather than the ones you strap around your calf.
Oh, 8th grade.
Yeah, that was about when I did too.
8th grade, grade 8 for all of you.
You'll be a great bit of content for us would be talking about cleats.
Oh, dude. Ooh. I still have my high school boots, my senior year high school boots. Yeah. I bought the I used all of my paycheck and I bought the like $215 Mercurials with no tongue. It was all one piece with the laces that went through them the first time they did that. They had laces, but they were one piece. They were like the super thin synthetic leather upper. I still have them to this day. They were bright pink, and they're my favorite cleats I've ever worn in my life. They're top-notch boots, Nike. Bring those shits back. Those and the T90s with the shooting zone, like the Wayne Rooney T90s that had like the like plasticky leather square pieces on the like the instep and on like the top, like the hard part of your foot, so like you knew right on the cleat where you were supposed to strike the ball. Bring those back too. Those cleats were fucking amazing.
Tiempos were good too. I wore a pair of Tiempos.
Good shout.
I
got the neon yellow Tiempos still in the closet.
T90 and Mercurial guy through and through. I tried I tried Predators. I tried Adidas Predators once, and I hated them.
I had Puma ones my senior year, and I hated them. They were like a synthetic kind of on the top, and like when it was wet, you'd get stuck on the ball like when you're going to bring it down.
I hated the Predators. Those are my indoor shoes, and let me tell you, they are the worst thing to get in and out of for somebody with wide feet.
Isn't every soccer cleat just difficult to get in and out of for someone with wide feet?
I should have just got Sambas. But I was like, I can't get Sambas because I'll just look like Bass. People will confuse us. So I had to get my own thing.
Mercurials were nice. I was always afraid of someone stepping on me with those. I mean, no coverage on the top of your foot.
No one's stepping on me. I'm diving before they can actually do that.
I'd love to analyze the Pat highlights of Winter Pie.
My brother in Christ, there weren't many. We won 6 games in 4 years. We were fucking ass, bro. We were real bad.
I'm pretty sure I was present for 3 out of 4 of them.
Oh yeah, we didn't win a game my senior year or my freshman year. And then my junior year, I got mono, so I only played 2 games.
I think we officially decided that we need to have like a high school soccer episode with Taylor Mannix. We need to talk about rules and like the gear we wore.
Yeah, it's official. That's going to be a spin-off episode, a mini-sode. Yeah, you guys just stay tuned for that. We just decided that on air right now.
Yeah.
I think that's enough riffing.
Yeah.
We just went on like an unbelievably long tangent. Congrats to you if you listened to this
Made it through the
episode for that one there.
Free swim.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. That was episode 27, season 2 of the Main Stand. The zoo opening in a week or 2, so catch us there for some cool stuff this spring. I'll probably see us there opening weekend back. Yeah, having a couple of beers.
I'll just wear my bibs. I'll just wear my cow hats.
Yeah, I'll show up in March, right when they fucking open back up to watch some footy and drink some beer at like 9 a.m. Get another bad pastry from the place down the road.
I actually I went there the other day. Not that one, but the other one. I thought it was pretty delightful.
Well, I mean, I thought that was the tandem that had breakfast sandwiches. Sorry, tandem.
Yeah,
I love your breakfast
just
sandwiches
docked
and your
tandem
coffee.
for bad pastries.
It was one pastry. It was one pastry, and it was just a personal preference thing. I'm sorry, guys. You make really good breakfast sandwiches, and you have great coffee.
Sheesh.
I would never say bad things about a local business. Support local, shop local.
Well, there goes that ad, Pat.
Fuck.
I'm kidding.
Oh man,
Take it easy,
get us out
guys.
of here. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe.
See you next week.
Rate the thing.
Deuces.
Catch you guys next week.
Peace.